Oh! I've lost a lot of money today. What is up? My dog's lost in here. Beautiful day, and I'm joined by my favorite person on planet Earth, Mr. Matt Streichel from SB Fishing TV. We're about to hit the water. He's down from Virginia, and we're hoping to go catch some big giant fish. I have a little bit of a problem here. Well, if you ask my wife, she'd say it's a problem. If you ask me, it's not. I really like buying gear a lot, and I like buying expensive gear, which kind of sucks. But this is a beautiful little micro setup that I made today that I kind of want to see how big of a fish I can wreck on the micro rod. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but we're gonna drop the boat in, get on the water. Okay, so here's the dealio. I'm gonna be throwing a micro light setup that I made for the moment. Matt is gonna be pretty much only slinging big giant swim baits. He has some beautiful setups that I'll show you in a little bit. We'll kind of do a comparison of like the small gear versus the big gear, and my plan is to try to catch some fish on the little stuff and then see if we can catch some giants. All right, this is what I'm throwing right here. This is a Shimano Stratic 1000 that I just picked up today. It's a $200 reel, and this is a Claris, which this rod is only about 60 bucks. It's actually a two-piece little small, super light reel, and I have 8-pound fluoro on here. This is like the micro light setup. And then I'll show you what Matt's using here, or he can show you, I guess.
Got the iRod Genesis, which is a $150 rod. Awesome, like entry-level swim bait rod. Tranx 300, that's gonna run 280. And well, yeah, I guess we're just going over rod and reel. So
what's the bait?
Bait? Want to say they sell these for 90.
Beautiful.
It's a little pricey, but
so
good.
All that being said, this isn't like a look how much money we have in our gear. We literally do this for a living. You know, having nice gear helps, but it's more like to show like kind of the cool high-end stuff. Like when I was a kid, I dreamed of having gear like this, and now Matt and I are lucky enough we do this for a living and we get to have this gear. So I'm kind of excited to try out this little micro light here, and it's a winter time. Fish kind of key in sometimes on pretty small stuff when it gets cold, so we might end up hooking a giant, or Matt might end up hooking a giant on a swim bait. Dear Lord. There's a prime example though, because there's my first fish throwing micro gear, and Matt's trying to use a bait that is larger than this fish, and you know a freaking 10-pound bass would eat that thing.
Oh, it's a butterfinger, dude.
Hey, real quick, this video is sponsored by Catchco. If you know what Catchco is, they're a company. They make a ton of awesome lures, and a lot of what I'll be using in this video is made by Catchco. I'll leave a link down below where you can pick up any of the baits I'm using, and they even make some of my own line of baits, which is super cool. And this is my dog's favorite lure. Oh, there we go. I'm a jerk. It's an okay fish. We're moving in the right direction, that's for sure. Okay, it's not that okay, but it's bigger than my inchling.
There you go.
Beautiful.
That's a respectable fish.
Chunk.
I like it.
A very fat winter fish though, that is for sure. A little girthy.
Girtha.
That's beautiful little fish, probably just a pounder, but a very fat little chunky square fish. But that tells me a lot because we caught it out in the open here. So there might be some fish suspended, or they're sitting over top of some hydrilla. Oh, that on the chatterbait?
Yeah.
Wow. I literally retied the jerkbait back on, made 2 casts into another fish. Look at that drag, Screamy.
Solid. Nice.
Hooting and hollering. Double. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Things are getting a little sad there for a moment, but that's actually a decent largemouth. I might have a plan here. Oh, that is a beautiful fish. What do you give him? Pound and a half? Oh, you just got waked on again, dude. So crazy, man. I can't believe like I've thrown the fluke around for an hour and didn't get bit, put that jerkbait back on, made 2 casts, caught a fish. Yeah. All right, here's the deal. Caught some fish on the light gear. I think we got probably like 45 minutes of light left. I think it's time to throw the old big swim bait and pick up a meat stick and see if we can stick an absolute giant and compare the difference between a micro rod and a big rod. But mainly I just want to throw a big rod. When I say big, I mean big, baby. Big fat mega bass swim bait here. Well, swim bait didn't last long at all. I'm sorry, I failed you guys. I threw it about 10 times and decided that I needed to throw a popper, so I picked up the micro light rod. And I stole a popper out of Billy's boat, which is whose boat we're using. Matt, what's my odds on a popper? What do you think?
You're definitely a catch one. Point me in a direction. Lost.
I don't know, all the stuff to our left looks kind of good, like these humps and stuff. My thought would be right now that bass hanging deep in the main canal, probably right with the last hour, would come up and feed on the flats or right on the edge of where the hydrilla flats meets the deeper water.
What you thought? Flop on yourself?
Yeah. Ooh!
Got him?
Popper fish. Nice, brother. I had a feeling about it. He's got a small mouth.
It's a small mouth.
Don't think so. Beautiful. Beautiful. Honestly, the micro gear does not disappoint, and it makes every catch lots of fun. It's about the same size as every fish I've caught. Man, I've been in a bit of a slump lately, not feeling too great, and it feels nice to be out here with one of my best buds, just catching some bass. Sometimes bass fishing is the best because you really can just kind of chill out. Would have been really nice if that was instead a 9-pounder just golfing it. If there was ever a time of year for a 9-pound bass to eat this small of a popper, it would probably be like right now.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Where he'd be like, oh, you know, I guess I could eat that little mouse floating on the surface. I'm just stoked it worked, you know?
Oh, dude. Lights out. It came out.
Oh!
Another one. Came out of these.
Dog! 2 fish on the popper?
That was quick.
That's a fatty. This is, I mean, good clean living.
Good work.
Brother, the pop doggy. The only popper in the whole entire boat, too.
It's all good.
There's a nice walking bait in there, so. That's a good fish. They've all just been so fat, man. It's awesome. Come here, daddy.
No problem with though.
Yeah?
We got frog on too.
Dude, these fish are so cold. Crossbarred it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Front hook was in the left side of his mouth, back hook was in the back side. Beautiful, chunky bass, man. Bro, I'm glad I made the call, as much as it would be the most beautiful thing in the world to hook a giant on the swim bait. It's like, odds of that are pretty low, but I'll take catching a fish on a top water when it's freaking 54 degrees out. I'm quite okay with that, you know what I mean?
I'll take it away.
Never saw the 8-pound test coming. Oh my God! Killer whale on that thing, bro. That's the best fish too. Absolutely. That was insane.
Got it?
It's finally a studly fish. Baby, finally a studly looking fish right there. Probably about a 2.5 because he is thick. Matt, thank you, brother, for bringing me out with you. Thanks for coming down to Florida. Man, I'm stoked on that, dude. That eat alone, worth 1,000 casts right there for that eat. My popper was a seal. The bass was a great white. In his own mind, maybe that's what was going on. Bro, it's like 45 degrees. I shouldn't be crushing fish on a popper right now. You know what I mean? Another one. That feels like a little guy. Man, can you believe I've caught more fish on the popper in like 10 minutes than the whole day? Oh! Why are these fish hitting this popper so hard?
No. Dude. They hate that.
They do not like this popper. That is faux shallow. Well, the day has come to an end. I've lost a lot of money today. I bought a rod, I lost my hat, and I got a speeding ticket on my way here to fish, but it's all good. We caught some bass to close it out. And make sure you go check out Matt's channel. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, see ya.